Dallas, Texas. Good morning. You're on with Brian Stelter.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
I just had to call in because I think CNN is so liberal, and I think Fox is great. And CNN, I can't watch it, and I wish I could.
Kansas City, Kansas. Gordon, good morning. You're next.
Yes, I'd like to ask Brian to, on national television, admit he and his network are a bunch of liars about Donald Trump. The Inspector
Can you tell me
General
the lie?
Came out.
Can you tell me what lie?
The lie is that he cleared that protest out so he could be there. That was a lie that you and your network told, and that's all I got to say to you. I can't stand you.
All right, that's Gordon.
Yeah, Mr. Stelter is the biggest minister of misinformation I have ever heard, and I'm a news junkie. This gentleman told the American people and his news organization, which he was pretty much had control over, for 4 years that there was Russia collusion. And actually, after all the $35–40 million of government investigation, come to find out there was zero collusion from the Trump administration and Russia. But Chris, he's such a bipartisan, what do you call him? What did he just say? He made the statement just a few minutes ago that he is all the stories are always evolving. Yeah, his stories absolutely evolve.
Brian Stelter.
Yes, I was just wondering if you still feel like Michael Avenatti is the greatest thing in the world and should run for president of the United States.
That's
and
funny.
my suggestion is whatever CNN says, do the opposite and you'll be fine.
This is Harry out of Pittsburgh. Good morning.
Good morning. I get this in before I get hung up on. I'd like to know if Stelter there would have the guts to go on your show first thing, 7 in the morning, have an hour debate with Hannity, have 40 minutes of pro-Hannity, pro-Stelter callers in, separate from each other. Second of all, the heroes they had, Avenatti ripped off the handicap man, Lincoln Project, run by child predators. Cuomo killed 5,000 or 10,000 people, and now Fauci. So that's
all right, Harry, you bring up a lot of...
Yes, I caught your coverage of, I think it was inauguration night. It reminded me very distinctly of actually the kind of flowery speeches you would expect to get out of eunuchs covering the Persian kings in the old days. Pretty shameless, if you ask me.
This is Robert. Good morning. You're on with Brian Stelter.
Yeah, we got another book, Stellar, telling about if it's like CNN.
Oh, forget about the book. Forget about throw it off. Throw the book over there. I'm not here to sell you. I'm here to hear your questions.
So, CNN is just something it's a joke. It's a joke. This guy tells more lies, and Fox gives more news than CNN does in
What lie? What lie did I tell?
2 years. It's nothing but lies.
I think that it's important that CNN cover all the news, not from a liberal point of view, not from a conservative point of view, from a reality-based point of view. That's our job. If we fall down on the job, we want to know, and we want the feedback. I sometimes give out my email address on TV because I want viewers to know, if you think we're getting it wrong, tell us what to do. My email address, by the way, is bstelter@gmail.com. I'll give it out here as well. But I do think it's important that we be reality-based, not left or right, but reality-based. And I think a great example this week is coverage of Vice President Kamala Harris's trip. I think there was some pretty tough coverage on CNN of the Vice President's trip to Guatemala and Mexico. There were some tough questions about some stumbles on her trip. And so I don't view that as covering it from the left or the right. I think that's exactly what we should be doing. I was taught in my high school in Damascus, Maryland, not to lie. And I'm sure you were taught not to lie. And I swear, if President Biden starts lying to us and tells us that the sky outside is red, we're going to call him out for that at CNN. We will call him out if he starts to claim that the earth is flat. We have to call out liars, and we have to call out disinformation, even when it hurts. And I think that's the job, and that's the job of news divisions, and that's what we're going to keep doing. And I think it's important that we trust we trust but verify, emphasis on the verify. Right now, this administration has a pretty healthy track record of mostly staying reality-based. Yes, there have been some fibs and some mistakes, but we have not seen the kind of full-blown lying as a strategy that we saw in the Trump administration. So they have earned some trust, but we must verify. And you do that by looking for primary source material. You look at follow-up reporting. I think the work of the New York Times and ProPublica and other outlets that can do long-form investigations, they help to check and see if what you are hearing every day actually adds up. And I think all of us as news consumers need to have skin in the game by subscribing. I think you are describing two different kinds of television hosts. A news anchor who wants to tell you what happened that day versus a partisan host with an agenda. Sometimes I would argue full-blown propaganda. And I agree with you, they are not the same. These brands are not opposites of one another.